Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Close Traffic Podcast. Boy, do we have a show for you today.
Live from the lavatory, welcome to the Close Traffic Podcast, an aviation and flight simulation show. Welcome aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Mike so eloquently put it, welcome to the Closed Traffic Podcast, an aviation and flight simulation show. Wow, we got a heck of a show. As always, we got the normal crew here. Finally, we're all together.
Man, it's been like 2 years, hasn't it?
Yes. Oh my gosh. And of course, it wouldn't be a normal show without having Mike here as our main producer, because I totally forgot last time to turn on the recording, and
You sure did.
Yeah. So, anywho, sorry, housekeeping out of the way, man. Mike, how you been, bro?
Oh man, living a dream. Can't complain. A little bit of work, a little bit of play. But all is well, man. Healthy and alive and well, and that's what matters.
Yeah, absolutely, and warm. It's been a little warm here as well. What about
toasty.
you, Charlie? What about you, man?
I'm just glad to be back from PTO. You know, y'all got reprimanded me for going on PTO last
Yeah,
week,
man.
so.
Yeah. And we still haven't got your expense report either. So make you submit. You know what? Don't even worry about it. It's not getting approved.
You ain't getting it back.
Yeah, it's not. You don't want it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the administrative jargon aside, we got a heck of a guest for you. Ladies and gentlemen, our good friend XP72. X, say hello to people, my friend.
What is going on, Closed Traffic World? I'm here, man. Before the stream, you guys were saying the last time I was on, I was like, what? Really? It's been that long? Man, time flies. I've been telling you, time flies. But I'm happy to be here with you guys, man. Absolutely appreciate the offer. Let me sitting on your guys' little discussion group chat. I love it, just to talk away, because I love to talk.
Oh, too cool.
Well,
No,
cool.
we're extremely humbled. I know you're like maybe one of our first guests. He was
the third guest. I was looking at it last night. Third guest in 2021. That was crazy, man.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's freaking crazy, So I mean, we're extremely happy to have you. Got a pretty sizable amount to talk about aside from the other random often weeks tangents we usually go into. So without further ado, I don't know. It's hard for me to kind of segue back into normal things because XP was immediately, he was like, guys, have you checked out VR?
I know, man.
I'm
through the whole show.
Yes, just completely derailed the whole show. Thanks, XP. But I'm looking at the chat, but then I'm looking at this Pimax here. I was like, oh my word.
It looks solid, man.
Yeah, it looks freaking amazing. I guess I kind of want to change things up a little bit. XP, I know you've been playing with VR here as of late. What has been your initial impressions with it? Like, I mean,
I hate to be that guy who's the one who's like infecting the flight sim community with this VR talk, you know what I'm saying? But no, before me, there were a couple of guys who said, hey, have you ever tried VR? And my answer was like, why? Like, no, I'm good. I got my 4K TV monitor. It's 42-inch. Like, I can't get any better than that. You can actually add a triple monitor too. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need VR. And they're like, no, you got to try it out. It's really good. I'm like, nah, I'm just not buying it. And then what happened is Pimax reached out and go, hey, we're going to be at Flight Sim Expo. Can you stop by the booth? We'll set aside a time. You can check out the hardware. I'm like, sure, Yeah, no problem. Whatever. I'm gonna get a chance to check out VR. I remember VR. Have I ever put on a VR goggles before that? Maybe way back when it was like grainy and choppy and just like uncomfortable. So it's like, but all right, we'll see what it did. And so I literally, they sat me down, they put it on, and they turned it on. I was in this like Starship Fighter or some spaceship. It was like a space simulator or something. And the entire time I'm going, crap, I could read all the text in here. This is crazy. And it's funny because I didn't really care about the game that they had on. I didn't care about the space game or whatever it was. I'm looking at the cockpit layout going, I wonder what an Airbus or a 737 would look like in this thing. That was my mind.
That's immediate. Your immediate thought.
What would an airliner look like? I didn't care for playing Star Wars or whatever it was. I didn't care. I was thinking like, what would a cockpit look like? I spent about 5 minutes in or 7 minutes, and I was sold. I was like, yo, this is good. This is ridiculous. Wow. This is actually crazy. But all right, forgot about it. They sent me a headset ahead of time, and I got it home. And I called up a couple of people who had it before who was telling me. I said, all right, talk me through setting this thing up. And legit actually is very easy to set up. In hindsight, you download one software, maybe two, that's it. And the headset, you put it on, and it comes on, and you're like in some kind of space gallery room or whatever. And then the beauty of Microsoft Flight Sim is that as soon as you sit down and you load up the sim, everything you normally do, you're in a cockpit, you just press a hotkey on your keyboard that you set, whatever that is. 1 key, 2 keys, doesn't matter. And immediately it just switches and just puts you in the cockpit.
Wow.
I never forget the guy who helped me set it up. His name is Data. He was at Flight Sim Expo, by the way. He's not a flight sim guy, but he does DCS. He goes, all right, here's a setup. He goes, this is what I want you to do. I want you to put it on. I want you to close your eyes. Don't look. And then when you've set up the headset, close your eyes, toggle your hotkey, and then open your eyes. And man, I did that, and I opened my eyes, and I don't curse. I was like, holy yeah, I was like, I was in it. And the way you know you're in it is when you start to reach out to try to touch things and it's not there.
Wow.
That's when you know Huh. So that was my initial reaction. It was from day one. It was like, I can't believe this is what it is. Yeah, I spent some time fine tuning it, find out what works. You can't turn your graphics all the way up, but you don't need to. Because the key is the best experience is to have as smooth as possible, and then you can see the cockpit legible. A lot of people, I think they turn it up too high and they get stutters. That's what makes you sick. Never had motion sickness in it. I've done full flights in it. Night flights in it. That's a whole different level.
Oh man, I bet that's
in a good way. It's
in an extraordinary way.
Wow.
Watching the moon come
card.
Right. No, but from a flight sim perspective, even if you never get VR, here's what it does to you, or it did to me. We flight simmers. We casually play the game. We don't taxi on the center line. We take shortcuts. We're so used to click, 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 click because we're so used to looking at our flat screen. When you're in VR in the cockpit, you have a sense of more responsibility because everything is now more real. The perspective is real. The height above the ground is real. The size is real of everything. The engines, the whole thing. And you could now look over your shoulders, look at the wingtips, and realize how far back it is based on where you're sitting. Right.
Wow.
So if you notice, my taxiing is better because now I'm on satellite, right? But for some magic, ask the guys in my stream, my landings have improved because now you're getting a depth perception that you never had. You're not over flaring the airplane. You're not over banking the airplane because you feel it. Like, you put in a hard movement, you feel that pitch up immediately, like in a millisecond. You can't get it on a flat screen. So,
holy cow.
I think going forward, I could say 3 years from now, 5 years from now, everybody's in flight sim is going to be in VR and they're not going to look back. That's my prediction. Yeah. Wow. Because the quality is getting better and the price is coming down. and
Mhm.
everybody's going to have the harder to run it.
The barrier to entry was always one of the biggest concerns for me
Yeah.
and many other people. It's like, all right, it costs so much, and I don't even know if I'm going to be able to run it and replicate the same level of immersion that I've had with my, to your point, 50-inch HD monitor. So what's the point of spending all that money on there? And then you hear through the grapevine all the performance issues, and it was just very cumbersome, via a, word of mouth as well as from a direct experience. But it sounds like it's come, leaps and bounds since then. And to Johnny's point, I'm here looking at the website, and it's just it's easy to click add to cart, man. That's for sure.
Yep.
What happened is why it's easy to use, and that's why I praise Microsoft. And I'm finding out X-Plane actually does the same thing too, is that you could just do your flight and set up the entire way. And at any time, without touching any software or starting up any programs, you just reach for the headset, put it on, click your hotkey, or you're in it.
And it's in it.
Yeah, and then
Interesting.
when you're ready to get out of it, click toggle out of it, put your headset back down. So like what I've been doing on some of my streams is do landing and takeoff in it, and the rest of the stream's normal. That's
I
the
got
key.
you.
You're not stuck in it when you start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you got to get up and go, whatever, just toggle out of it and go. But you're going to want to stay in it all the time. That's the
that
thing.
level of flexibility is key.
Yeah. Microsoft did a really, really good job of their interface and usability. X-Plane too, but I'm running into a few issues, and a lot of them has to do with the developer of the airplane, the add-on. If they don't optimize the cockpit, everything I've touched in Microsoft so far works. PMDG, Phoenix. Fly-by-wire. I've done the 777 in it. I've done the A300. I did fly the 7.5 in X-Plane. Oh man. Yeah. So it depends on, how the developer. I used to see these comments in chat. When are you going to get VR on the plane? When are you going to? I'm like, shut up.
Yeah, exactly. That's my sentiment. Like,
yeah.
Whenever you send it to me.
For real. So yeah, for real. So yeah, but my prediction, and I could be completely wrong. I think 3 years from now or so, everybody's going to be in VR and nobody's going to go back. Seriously,
I could see it. I could see it
because I've everybody I've invited to my house to try it. They're like, yeah, I'm done. You've ruined it for me. I can't look at Yeah. Real talk. Like real talk. I feel like I hate feeling like I'm like a sales guy or something like that.
Yeah.
But I just want to share with the community what I'm experiencing. Because you call each other, hey man, I got the new throttle. I got the new yoke. You should try this. It's the best things. You want to spread the news so everybody can enjoy what what you're experiencing. And it's the same kind of thing here.
There's a difference certainly when it's like backed with authenticity and they've seen you do it and you're here talking about it with passion and enthusiasm. People can tell, especially people in our community. I'm sold up to at least go try it.
Money. Exactly. Okay, look at this though. As far as from a money experience, I mean, we know flight simming is an expensive hobby, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
100%.
If you're one of these guys who are going the let me build my own cockpit kind of route, think about how much you've already invested in a cockpit, right? Versus if you already have the computer with the good graphics card for it, like a 30 series, probably a minimum, 40 better, right? You are going to just add anywhere between $500 to $1,000 for a good VR headset, which you're going to be spending that in peripherals that won't even give you anyway, right? Because somebody asked me, do you going to add any more peripherals? I'm like, no. I could. Here's the funny part. I met VR guy at Flight Sim Expo 2, and he hung out with us. I'm trying to remember his name right now. Very good guy. He talked me through a lot of this. He had a video out that goes like my autopilot panel, my side stick, my tiller, my radio stack, all that. Muscle memory allows me to reach out and touch those things without even having to do it in the 3D cockpit while in VR.
While in VR.
And this is how Airbus is good, because the feel of the knob is all different.
Telemetry.
Here we go.
I'm a Boeing guy, man. I don't
exactly, and it's coming from him.
I'm a Boeing guy.
Mike's back.
So your muscle memory knows when you stretch your arm out this way or that way, you can feel the keys, and I can
Mhm.
still run through my wing views and stuff if I want because it's all programmed with my numb keypad,
Wow.
by feel.
And
So
and you see the wing views in your headset as well?
yes,
Oh.
okay, all right. You know how you do flight simming and you set up your wing view and you have a wing view of the engine and stuff, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go to a real flight. I sit at the window seat, which I always do, and I look at the IE engine and go, "Wait a minute, this thing is bigger than it looks like in the sim."
Mm,
I was
yeah.
like, "Wow, I didn't
Yep.
get that feeling from it looking at the sim."
Right.
In
Mhm.
VR, you see the size, just like in the real
Wow.
world. You
Oh,
like, oh
Really?
yeah, crap, like the 777 engine. Yeah. You
Put
feel
a
now
couple
the
people in that
perspective
thing.
of
Yeah.
depth and size and space. So yeah, I could do my wing views, all my custom views that I set up. Inside and outside, I could walk through the cabin. As a matter of fact, this new GSX add-on that they have, where
With the
the
people.
The
passengers sit
passengers,
down,
yeah.
Yeah.
you feel like a creep standing beside somebody looking from your lap. Like, they have an iPad
Wow.
or a magazine. Where's one lady who's reading a magazine? I'm standing here looking at her like, this is sick, man. I'm like, feel like
Wow.
I'm intruding in their space. Flyweight Rookie told me, have you gone into the terminal yet? I'm like, no. He goes, go into the terminal, walk around. I haven't done it yet. He goes, yo, that
Mhm.
will blow you away. Because, Microsoft, all these terminals have modeled
Yeah,
inside.
they got the model
Right,
inside now.
interiors,
Yeah.
yeah.
Scary. It's
Damn,
scary.
man, you could
Wow.
That's
really
crazy.
like simulate you walking from the crew lounge onto the jetway or through
Yep.
the terminal onto the jetway, going into the aircraft. That's crazy.
Yep,
That's
for
sick.
real. So, but yeah, I don't want to, take up
Wow.
all the time talking about it, but I believe
No.
the only drawback is if you're a streamer, you see what I have to contend with to still put on a good showcase to
Mhm,
people
for
because
everyone.
you don't realize how much you move your head until you strap a GoPro camera on or you're using VR to show the cockpit. You
Yeah.
move your head so much,
Absolutely.
you're always moving your head. That's the natural human thing. Other than that, yeah, we'll see. Give it 2 years.
We'll see.
I'm
Yep.
gonna save this. What's the recording time here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, here.
Well, not 8:17 for you East Coasters.
Multiverse
go.
time
on,
is a
on the
little different.
22nd of August. We'll have to refer back to it.
I know, man. But
On the
Yeah.
record.
on
But
the record.
yeah, so it's absolutely amazing how far things have come over the years. I remember like FS9 and like virtual cockpits period was like, what magic is this? And now here we are talking about leaning over and touch. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
man! It's
it's
like
not-
what?
It's crazy.
What are we doing here? Or what are we doing? But it was something interesting. You did mention XP. I know. I guess the elephant in the room. You said the word Phoenix, right? And I can't help but talk about Mike's favorite manufacturer, as he clearly reminds us every show. That Phoenix. Oh my. Get with the producers on that one. They recently released the 319 321 expansion. You know what? Let me go to Mike first, since this is his baby. Let me go to Mike. What's
Ooh,
been your what's been
Phoenix,
your
yo,
thoughts?
Gio said it the best,
being
man.
that, let me lay the groundwork.
All
Being
right.
a person who has indulged the FS Labs era, has had
Mhm.
the opportunity to partake in the FS Labs era.
Yep.
Fast forward now, boom, here's Phoenix, here's everything. Then 319, 321, 320. Where are we sitting at right now as it relates to Airbuses?
Certainly a lot further ahead than I thought we would be. Check this out. When 2020 first launched, we had the 320 Neo, right? And us very enthusiastic flight simmers, especially people that fly these commercial airliners to some level of immersion and fidelity, were very disappointed. And then our good old buddies over at Fly By Wire came in and really enhanced and took that aircraft to a whole nother level. And it was flyable, it was reliable. Many of us still fly to this day, and it really held us down for quite some time. but it was still always lacking this overall level of simulation depth that, you know, again, for you P3D folks out there, and even it's not just FS Labs, even if you look at X-Plane and TOLUS, right? It was still lacking the TOLUS
Yep.
and FS Labs level of immersion and fidelity. And there
Mhm.
was really no horizon that you could look at to say, okay, we're going to get there soon. And then Phoenix came on the scene, and I was a little skeptical. I remember reading the you know, I think they had a presser or a summary or, you know, Flight Factor as well. You're right, Gio. Yes, pretty solid. They had many things that they started to walk the community through as it relates to what they were going to do with this product. And I was like, I haven't seen anyone really do this besides the 3 developers we just mentioned. So it remains to be seen. And then they dropped the 320, and I was like, hold on, guys, we've got something here. Solid offering, high fidelity, very cost effective. That's debatable, obviously, depending on people's circumstances. But when you consider everything else we pay for, very cost effective. And there was more they were going to do. Then they released Block 2. And then now you all know the 321 is my favorite variant of the Airbus aircraft family. We need some sharklets, but I'll get to that later.
Oh, trust me, we know.
They have, I said this to you two in our chat this week. I don't know, and feel free to debate me in the chat, XP, you know, let me know how you feel as well. I don't know what else is there to do for FS Labs to come on the scene in Microsoft Flight Sim at this point and really have a market for themselves. Now, I think you're going to get your I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm just being straight up realistic.
Yeah. It's over. It's over.
Now, I think you'll have your avid, you know, I'm a FS Labs hardcore person that supported them forever, and whatever they drop, I'm going to go buy it regardless. Or you'll have, you know, people that just, you're in this community and you want to try and test everything, and you kind of, you know, want to provide your feedback on the offering. So you may purchase it and try it for that. But other than that, your core user group, your core community individuals, I don't know that you're going to go out and go purchase FS Labs. Now, I can't speculate what those price points are going to be, but historically they've been pretty high. So do I continue to roll with Phoenix and the high level of aircrafts and whatnot they've developed and will continue to develop, or do I go pay almost double for an FS Labs offering that is probably going to be more or less the same thing? It's a tough sell for me. So my overall feedback and impression, Phoenix knocked it out the park. I can't wait to get my hands on some of the additional aircrafts and things that they're working on. And I feel sorry for FS Labs, but I could be proven wrong down the line. I could be. That's just my overall perspective.
Let me hear what Charlie's got to say before I jump in here, because I got
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, brother, go ahead. You go, man.
I'm kind of in the same boat as Mike. I never owned the FS Labs products, but for me, not being the Airbus guy, I'm just not going to pay double the price for the same aircraft. I'm just not. Because the thing that strikes me with Phoenix is their whole GSX integration. Like, everybody who develops an aircraft in the simulator needs to be integrating GSX, period. It can be done.
Say it again.
It can be done. Here, we need a clap. We need a clap.
Sure, say amen. Yep.
Yeah. That's kind of my 2 cents.
Yeah, we've been having a 3-day now. When did the 321 Monday? We've been having like
people that have work
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, a 4-day discussion on this topic, and you guys hit the nail on the head. Charlie said integration with GSX. Why isn't PMDG and everybody else doing that? I click my beacon light, everything comes to life.
It's done.
Push back, ready to go. The loading, the passengers, the cart. It takes, okay, as a flight simmer, you want to fly.
Yes.
You love the add-on stuff that happens around the airplane. It's buzzing around, shows you,
100%.
And if we could just click one button and make it happen, that's what Phoenix did.
Exactly.
They brought it down to one button, click load, GSX, and it just does everything for you, right? So that alone, like, you can't beat that. But Mike, you said it right there. For less than $100, you get the 319, 320, and a 321, all top class, high fidelity airplane. The FS Lab was about $130.
$135 for just the base 320.
Yeah.
All right, exactly. I was telling my chat, and we feel like PMDG value for money. I'm sorry, Phoenix value for money is number one right now in Microsoft.
Mhm.
Like,
100%.
Oh, 100%.
can't beat that,
You
right?
can't.
And
Just their level of textures.
Yep. And it's funny because I've had the 320, and maybe because there's the INI bills, the fly-by-wire, the Latin VFR, and all these other ones, I
Mhm.
was so much A320'd out, I didn't fly the Phoenix for
Yeah.
months.
Mm,
I've flown more Phoenix products this week than I've done in the
In
last
months.
3 months. Yeah, and the 321 is my favorite Airbus, by the way.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, it's that sweet spot for me, man.
It really is.
It's like a borderline heavy airplane, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
But yeah, look, Amir over at Phoenix, he delivered on exactly what he said to me 4 years ago when we interviewed him, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And he's delivered on it. The
Oh
plane
yeah.
is one of those planes, when you go into it and you load it up, you just have the sense of everything is going to work the way it's supposed to work. I'm just going to do my flight and it's going to
Yep.
be good.
Yep.
So yeah, the FS Lab is late to the party. We can't take any other Airbus in the same. We got about 8 of them right now. We're done.
Yeah, this I even as an Airbus fan, I'm kind of Airbus out. Squeezy, I hope I'm saying this right, pronouncing this right. Squeezy, I think you bring up a great point.
Mhm.
FS Labs would have to make something beyond just an Airbus, similar to how Hotstar created the FBO and allowed the user to simulate being a corporate pilot. I think like that's the level of outside of the box they would need to get to in order to really create a market for themselves. And Johnny, you said it best this week as well. Like, don't count Leaftress, I think is his name, out. He has really in the past come up with some out of the box ideas and things to put in a simulator that we didn't even realize we wanted before.
We needed, yeah.
So I don't downplay their level of innovation that they've had in the past and will continue to deliver on. I just can't see an overall market or opportunity for them at this juncture. I just can't.
No,
We'll
no,
see.
yeah. I just so there was some scuttlebutt on the forums, and FS Labs kind of broke their silence, and
Oh,
you know, basically mentioned the Cliff Notes version that
Don't
we're
forget
still
us.
here. Yeah, we're still here.
wow.
They're under a tight NDA. The reason why we've been so close-lipped, we have some technology, we have some things going on that is coming with products. They are intending to bring the Airbus line over. And here's my thing. I know, Leftress again, I'm probably jacked his name up. I'm sorry. He's gonna come up with something, I'm sure, phenomenal. Here's the thing. Let's bring it back into the context of X-Plane. You got Hot Star, right? You got the Challenger 650. Okay, you got the FBO. What other Challenger 650 do we have in X-Plane?
Zero.
So
Yeah.
That's a
it's
good
not
point.
like, so yeah, the FBO is great, but it's not like we had a 650 to work with anyway.
Yeah,
That's a
something
good
to
point.
compare it to.
Right. So
Yeah.
you got what we got you got mine went blank. You got the fly-by-wire. You
Mhm.
got, you got Phoenix. You have all these
Latin
different
VFR, all those guys,
developers.
yeah.
Yes, all these different iterations of it. And then so you're going to bring me another Airbus with, a simulated crew lounge? Come on, man.
Well,
Hey guys, I got this
here's
crew
an
lounge,
entry. Yeah,
Oh.
here's an entry that they could do. Just thinking about
Mhm.
it. If they got on the ball quick, they could drop a A321 Neo.
That is a really good point.
Right? And have
Mhm.
traction. And
Yeah.
I'll say this because I use the analogy. I don't want PMDG to be the only developer making Boeings. I want a
Mhm.
different flavor.
Mhm.
Each developer have a different flavor of the airplanes.
100%.
PMDG have their flavor. We look at the 777, the 74, the 73. It's all
Mhm.
like the same.
The same flavor.
So the Bluebird 75 is going to be a different Boeing, and I love that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Oh
man.
yeah.
Right.
Don't sleep
So
on iFly either, for sure.
No, I'm waiting for the iFly Max,
Mhm.
dude. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
gonna be fire.
So I'm gonna love that. There's gonna be 3 Maxes: PMDG, iFly, and the default one that's gonna come with Microsoft, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
So even though the Airbus field is crowded now with all these A320s, I think if they came out with their 321 Neo
Mhm.
with an XLR2 or something like that,
Mhm.
they could make some headway. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't even
Yep.
think about that. You're
Yeah.
100%
Charlie
right,
even
man.
They
said
can't make
something as
another
well.
A320. Nobody wants it.
No,
No,
Let me throw
Charlie
this
even
out
mentioned
there.
a 220.
There you go.
Oh, there you go,
Yeah,
Charlie.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
True.
I didn't even think about that. You're right. But again, and this is based on historic reference. Like typically, the way Labs builds their fleet, like and I think from a coding standpoint as well, you got to have that installed in order to, run the 321 and then the sharklets and the non-sharklets. At least that's how they built it in FSX and P3D. So they would need to break away from that framework or that mindset and just say, forget the rest of the 320 family. Let's just go do a really good 321 Neo because they have the ability to do it.
100%.
Absolutely. There's always a Concorde.
Ugh.
No love.
Wonk,
Okay.
wonk, wonk.
I don't know, man. I just could never wrap my head
stand on that hill
around
by myself. I'm
the
good.
Concorde in the sim. Like,
I can't get with it, man.
me
I just
neither,
can't.
man. Too many buttons, bro. I don't have time for that.
I'll stand. Oh yeah, here goes Mike. Yep, that's all right, fellas.
I'd have to fly you here to come help me fly the thing, man.
That's all right.
Share cockpit.
Or shared cockpit.
In my limited time, I have to fly. I can't get with the Concorde. It takes an hour.
An hour to set that thing up, man.
It may be fast, but it takes you 2 hours to get to that point.
But,
oh my goodness!
It's true.
Yeah.
So that could be their in. Make a really nice 321 Neo. Charge no more than $60 for the thing.
There you go.
70 at the most, maybe. And blow everybody away. Make their texturing different, like a age texturing or sound is going to be raw, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
you can do it, and it's going to be solid from day one.
Oh yeah.
Labs, you hear us? Yeah. Talking to you guys.
And that's the thing. Don't get us wrong. We want them to. Lord knows I do. Because heck, I gave them all my money back in P3D. But what we're saying is don't sleep on the competition. I'm just saying. And in their defense, even in their response, they mentioned that they relish the competition that they're seeing from Phoenix and all those guys. But they just made it clear, and Mike, you know how they are. They're going to run their own thing. That's how they do.
To their detriment, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And that's the thing, and that's the thing that kind of bugs me with some of the. Developers have their thing. I get it. I'm in software as well. Totally understand. It's like PMDG. It's like, okay, I'm loading into, like, I'm coming home from work. I raised my kids for like 20 minutes. And then, I got them doing their thing. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to send a 737 flight from like Love Field to Houston. I got like, a couple of hours, I load into 7.3. I got to clear out all of their generic ground traffic. I mean, ground handling, whatever, before I can even get you. It's like, no one wants that. What market data are you looking at to steer you in a direction of saying like, hey, let's just go ahead and add some land, whatever, ground equipment, because I think that was his response in one of his dissertations they wrote. He was like, based on the feedback, they've had.
We want stairs that say PMDG. That sure is. That's what we want.
Or an option, because I know maybe they did it for the Xbox market, right? Because they can't get GSX and stuff. But give us an option to turn all of that off and
100%
have the GSX hookup. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Toggle switch, GSX or regular ground equipment.
Yeah, throw it the EFB and be, call it slick.
It's the little stuff with PMDG that I've always had beef with. Even I think, correct me if I'm wrong, their windshield wipers, again, I know I'm nitpicky here, but their windshield wipers still don't clear precipitation from the windshield.
Nope.
Come on, man. Like the ability is there, the code is there. Like you need to step up that level of immersion just a little bit more.
Now, Mike, there's going to be some there's going to be some folks playing devil's advocate here. That's going to be like, you're flying an airplane, you're not flying windshield wiper simulator, Mike. What are you talking about?
But check this out. That is
that's
an
kind of
element.
Part of the deal.
That's an element that you contend with and have to work through when you are flying an aircraft through weather, though.
Yeah.
Especially on final right there.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's all part of the package. If you're gonna go that far to simulate immersion, like don't shortcut the rest.
Yeah,
Don't
Exactly.
don't
there's
shortcut
tons
that.
that they can remove from that FMC and add and
Oh
make
my
that work.
gosh. And do
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. It's like sometimes I wonder if developers interface with like people who really play the sim on a regular basis. Like, where do they go off track to say this would be a good idea, and then neglect the big glaring thing over here? Like,
Yep.
you know, I don't know. I just think
Yep.
that they don't probably get the feedback of. I know they have plenty of beta testers.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like like how can you not like have a GSX profile already for the airplane?
yeah.
How hard is
Day
that
one.
going to be?
Day
Yeah.
one.
Day one.
Man, that's one of my biggest pet peeves when he's
Yeah.
Can't
like, I remember the
stand that.
777 release, man. My first flight, I was getting pushed back and they tail struck the damn plane. I was so mad.
Might squat the airplane
I spent 30 minutes setting this
right off of
damn
IOE,
plane
man.
up.
Squat the
Yeah.
airplane.
And you, because your GSX profile or whatever it is they did with GSX wasn't right out of the box, I've got to go figure out how to clear the failure and all this crap. And I'm on the ramp at Miami with traffic behind me and air
Oh,
traffic
that-
controller asking me if I'm ready. I'm like, damn, man,
Lord.
get it together.
Oh, by the way, don't let me get on GSX, by the way, because it took me a good year to finally get it down right. But there's a couple of things that I wish they would change, because I didn't realize how glaring it was until I got to Europe. You set up your GSX and it tells you to release the parking brake, but you're waiting for your pushback clearance.
Right.
And then the controller goes, nah, push back the other way.
Uh-huh.
You got to cancel all of that.
Mhm,
that.
and
Start over
redo it.
again. And it takes 5 minutes for it to reconnect again.
That happened to me the other day.
There you go. Like simple things like that. You should be able to change the direction of push on the fly.
On the fly.
You shouldn't have to redo the entire sequence of removing the pin and walking away and all that stuff.
XP, man, us FSX and P3D users been beefing with GSX for years. Welcome to the party, man. Let's just say they are a lot better than they used to be. You can't tell them that they've got nothing wrong with their product, man.
Nothing.
That's another story for another podcast.
The little things, man. The
little things. Man, it's so funny. I'm gonna say this, Mike, and I'm gonna leave it alone. So I'm always like perusing around the forums, and you'll see it. Somebody will say something negative about a certain product that we were just talking about like 2 seconds ago, GXX, and that developer will get in there, man. And I'm telling you, he's gonna die on that hill. He's like
100%.
And like he'll shut it down immediately. It's hilarious. I'm telling you, it's like really good reading.
you want some comedic reading, man? Go to the
AbSim
FS Dream Team.
Oh my god,
freaking forums, man. And they have been that way for decades,
man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But that goes back to XP's point. Like, they don't have a competition. There's no one else out there that's delivering that type of product. So
well, news for them. Microsoft is going to have built-in people and some stuff. I don't know how far they're going to go. So in order to differentiate themselves from Microsoft, they're going to have to step up and do some more stuff.
Yeah.
We need
this
that, man.
2024
Competition is
release
good
is
for the
going to be
community.
interesting.
Yeah.
To see what all they're doing.
Yeah,
that
that's
is true.
definitely gonna.
So, all these developers, Microsoft will either buy you, and if they can't buy you, they'll integrate it into the sim.
100%.
One or the other. Either way, it's going to happen.
That is exactly what XP told me, man.
Yeah,
we were standing at the back of the room at Expo, and they're going through all these product announcements and how Microsoft's integrated with everyone. XP runs to the back of the room. See,
true.
It's true.
It's true.
That's what the writing's on the wall.
The writing's on the wall. So if you have a product, you better listen to the feedback from the community and have a good explanation as to why it can't be done.
Mm-hmm.
You keep using it happy, it will support you, even though the sim has something built in already. You got to listen to your community on what they want, what they're telling you for your add-on and your product. So yeah, absolutely. Every aircraft manufacturer should have a GSX profile built in, and GSX should give us some options that we can do some things on the fly. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
There's no reason not to have it.
Absolutely. And you guys mentioned 2024. And it's like, man, what an amazing time it is right now to be a freaking flight simulator. Like, and now it's kind of bittersweet for me, fellas, because now we're getting all these awesome sceneries for 2020. Hopefully, you know, I hear they're supposed to be compatible for 2024. We're getting all these amazing sceneries now. Like PacSim just released John Glenn Columbus now for 2020. You got a Reno, and they finally hit my state of Mississippi. Got the Gulfport, Jackson, you know, Texas is covered, and it's just been amazing right now. So hopefully, you know, with 2024 being right around the corner, hopefully, you know, we see, you know, more progress being made as relates to those small out of the way airports. Because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you'll go to like a, you know, like a small class D airport, and it's like, okay, like the taxiway is not, they're not matching my charts, you know, like the taxiway's not even there, you know. And I kind of give that to X-Plane, because even the base sim, for the most part, they're solid, you know, they're plausible, as Mr. Austin loves to put it, you know. And you know, I think that's probably my one gripe for sure with 2020, is that it's like, man, you know, we gotta do, you know, still a little bit better with the default airports, you know. I don't know.
Agree.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I don't know. I mean, speaking of X-Plane does, okay, let me see if I can put this right. At this point, X-Plane is a boutique sim, right? It's for the diehard people who love X-Plane, and it does a lot of things right. One of them being the airport, the default airports don't look like office buildings, right? The taxiway stuff is right. True. The flight model is right, but they are missing big time the scenery stuff. You know, which I cornered them at Flight Sim Expo, and they're working on it, because they've been approached by many different third party. I want to put ortho in the sim natively, right?
Natively.
And there goes the problem. I spoke to Ben Sutnick, and he was like, hey, the problem is that our file structure, or our what do you call that, the tile structure, it's too big to do it that way. So he's rewriting the entire X-Plane
from the ground up.
Scenery structure from the ground up, so that now you can inject that into the sim, just like Microsoft does it from a server.
2020 drove that. Telling you.
Absolutely.
100%, bro.
Austin would have been like, no, we don't need to do
that.
Man, you still
it would have looked X-Plane 9. I'm telling you, it would have looked like X-Plane
9. You would have still been working on prop watch and prop
exactly.
100%.
Which, now you understand, by the way, why he was so fanatic about it, because now you have another sim that doesn't compete on that level. On that level. And you know it's missing, but it's good enough because it's so
good
pretty.
Enough.
Yeah. There you go.
You know, it's a pretty girl, and she can't do anyway, Jack. But I give X-Plane that, but it's not going to compete with Microsoft. Not now, not ever. The market share is not ever going to be there. There's Xbox, Microsoft, and you know how Microsoft is: quick in, load up, go. One company folder, drop everything. You don't have to worry about structure, file structure, and order.
It's amazing.
It's so easy. Microsoft entry is so easy. But Microsoft can learn from X-Plane.
100%.
As you said, especially with the 2024 flight model that's coming out, right? They said that it will take an airplane developer 1 hour to switch to the new flight model, which is either good or bad. All right. Yeah. So if it only takes an hour, everybody should be on the new 2024 flight model. But if it's only an hour, how much different is it?
Exactly. That's a really good point.
Think about it. Right? You know, an hour is good. Like, so nobody has an excuse to not to have their plane working in 2024. So all the add-ons you bought should be working there with the new model, and it should be better. But how much change did they make?
Did they actually make
an hour? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's yet to be seen. We don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know, man.
Do we have a release date for that yet?
September.
Oh, no way. Next month.
Yeah,
November.
Next month, man.
Is it?
I thought it was November.
No.
Yeah.
September 21st or 29th.
Wow. That's like
in the chat can confirm that. Sherwin, what is it coming out? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
hope Microsoft doesn't get complacent. No, November, Gio said.
One of these two. I remember. I thought it was.
But it's in the next 2 months.
It's the next
3 months.
Yeah.
That's
My
awesome.
goodness.
Yeah.
Great holiday season right there, man.
Man, I'm telling you, man.
November
run a poll.
19th, 2024.
Yep.
Okay.
Between the four of us, let's run this poll.
Yeah.
How many of you are going to play missions?
I will.
We've had this discussion. Yeah.
I don't do
Mainly
it today,
the
so
firefighting ones, man, because I think that'd be kind of cool.
that one, yeah.
Fighting
I would probably
wildfires.
dabble in that one.
Yeah. I
But
will
the
probably
rest,
do.
nah.
I'd probably do the firefighting missions, or if they're having like offshore oil drop offs or something, like dropping
Yeah.
people off there. Aside from that, like the safari and all that.
Yeah.
But however, with that being said, and I say this because I have another example of Microsoft proposed market in the other room. My 9-year-old son who has the Xbox Series S, and going from point A to point B, they could care less. We all know kids' attention spans are like this, but hey, give them something to do in the sim.
Yeah, go find this zebra.
Right, or some sort of mission, some sort of end goal, and boom, you got a new flight simulator. So I see where they're getting, and our good friend Steve at High Performance also made a good point as well. Although we might be the exception, I'm sure there are a lot of users out there that are looking for something more meaningful in their simming, in their day-to-day simming. So that I get. I'm not knocking it. I know me personally, for what I leverage the sim for, I don't see myself I don't see myself doing it on the regular, for sure.
Yeah.
The only one that I might be interested in is the airline career mode thing.
Yeah.
But I wonder how that's going to roll out. How is it going to load you in on the runway? Is it going to load you at the gate? Is it going to use the built-in ATC? What does it look like? I'm interested in that. And my problem has always been, once you get on VATSIM, it's difficult not to fly on VATSIM anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I tell people that all the time. I can't, even when there's no one on there, just to have Unicom. Like every flight is on VATSIM. Now, unless if there's shenanigans going on, which has been a lot of that lately. I don't know what in the world is happening. I don't know if the supervisors aren't on top of stuff, man.
School was out, man.
These controllers, by the way, have become really lean. I remember when I first started flying VATSIM, if you didn't know what the heck you were doing, you were getting booted. I've had these controllers in the last few months just tolerate these guys. I had one dude doing his 4th go around. I'm just like, yo, he's got to get off the network. He doesn't know how to fly the plane. He's ruining it for everyone. Just get him off the network. And you're clearly frustrated as a controller. So I don't know if the VATSIM rules change where they can't boot people anymore or call a supervisor, but it's
I don't know, Mike. Not all of the controllers, man. It's a couple of them. You know who I'm talking about. The legends.
We got some names that the legends will still they still don't play, but man, I've seen too much nonsense. But to XP's point, yeah, man, you've got to once you go VATSIM, you don't go back, man. It's just,
but yeah,
it's.
I don't know though. I know Gio made a good point there. In the beyond ATC, yeah, that's true. A lot of folks leveraging the AI.
Sorry, Charlie.
I was like in the background,
Charlie's thing right there, man. Charlie, how have you give us an update on how that's going, man? Because you were an early adopter for Beyond, and what was the other one?
Say Intentions.
How are they going?
They're getting better. It's going to take time. Yeah, I mean, there's just all it is. Like Beyond VFR is pretty much non-existent. Don't even. It's not even worth their time.
Dedicated commercial airliner.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they're trying to get everything, IFR related up to snuff, and they're also starting to work on their traffic injection, which supposedly is going to be pretty soon.
Cool. Yeah,
well, it's going to be pretty soon. So,
oh dang. So
it's going to be interesting to see how that works and how taxing that is on your rigs.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see AI playing more of a role in our simming as a whole. I think there is a huge potential for AI driven ATC. I can totally see it.
Yeah.
It's like you said. I mean, it's really in its infancy, but I'd say give it another year. I don't know, man. It's gonna, especially for those moments to where, like to Mike's point, you don't want to deal with the freaking shenanigans. Because, like I said, I was on VATSIM a couple of days ago, and there's some freaking shenanigans. It's just like, oh my gosh, guys,
it's getting out of control.
And that could easily, like, you know what, screw it, let me go jump on Say Intentions or jump on Beyond and just keep it pushing, because it's everything's going to be the spec, right, as it relates to the call outs, things like that. And especially for those of us who those individuals who are looking to segue into real world aviation, having that practice and that training and to be able to get those reps in without spending, burning hops time is freaking invaluable.
Trying to work on your radio. 100%.
Sheesh. Guilty, man. I was awful at it, because I didn't have a VATSIM. I didn't have a Say Intentions or a Beyond. So it's just like, to be a student right now is freaking just amazing. You
have everything at your disposal.
Everything at your disposal. So
besides cash.
So I'm about to say, exactly that credit card.
Besides cash.
Exactly. I mean,
$400 shares flights get expensive in a hurry.
Man.
They do, man.
Man, these new people, the flight simming, don't know how good they have it these days.
Oh man.
Oh
my gosh, man. Yeah, I think about it sometimes, and it's just amazing to see how far things have gone, even on both sides, real world aviation as well as flight simulation. And you kind of see that merge happening too. I remember coming up, and I was playing, like FS98 and and going into ground schools, like, yeah, I practiced that and the did that in the sim, and everybody's looking like, that game, with the pinky finger or whatever, and, now it's just like, it's so much more accepted now.
It's
and
normal.
Man, yeah.
When I was doing my instrument, normal. My instructor was like, man, get in the sim.
Get your butt in the sim.
Get your butt in the sim, man. Get on that G1000, run your flows, brief your approach plates. I mean, it's so much more acceptable now. Oh, 100%. 100%. And I've said this before, like,
but you did most of that in X-Plane, right?
Come on, Charlie. you know better than that one. Now you made me lose my train of thought. Thank you very much. I'll get back to that later. Sure, man.
I'm sorry.
Charlie does this all the time. Anyways, no, I think, even going back to what we were talking about flight sim wise for sceneries, like I remember a time where I'd be like, I want to go to this part of the country or this part of the world, but I didn't really want to mess with default airports or default scenery. So I avoided them like the plague.
Right.
And now there's really nowhere, at least from a flight sim, 2020 standpoint, and even an X-Plane to a degree, there's really nowhere in the world you can just look at and say, nah, I can't go here. There's no scenery. Sure, you can nitpick, and I get it, Johnny. But if we look at it from a much larger, international and even commercial airliner segment, because even in P3D and FSX days, and even in X-Plane, there were a lot of places that didn't really have solid scenery.
Yep.
Like, look at, especially for a while in X-Plane, I'm trying to remember, the only Kennedy scenery we had was Drewicki design.
Yep, it was Drewicki.
Yep.
And the
terrible.
freaking jetways did not work.
Yep. It was everything was
everything was static. This is probably the top 5 most well-known airport in the entire world, and for a decade we didn't have a scenery, right? So it's not just the smaller airports, like even during those times, you volume 1 and 2.
Exactly, Gio. Exactly. I know. It's funny. Yeah, you're right.
And we've come so far. Like, you can pick an airport and say, I want to fly some commercial ops to it, and you'll have great scenery, except for freaking Dallas Fort Worth, apparently.
Oh, no, man. I was about to say, Mike, bro, I'll fall slap through taxiway Zulu. I'm just saying.
Imagine Sim needs to hurry up with that scenery, man. I don't know why it's taking someone so long to do a Fort Worth.
They won't touch it, man. Why? I don't know.
Because it's a premium scenery. That's why. And it, I don't know.
But so was was Kennedy in 2020 a premium scenery?
Orlando.
Orlando is one.
Yeah, well, but
yeah.
we've got them since, man. I give Microsoft an A for effort, man. But we need forget those previous seniors. We need more higher level fidelity.
Leave them where they at, Mike.
I remember in X-Plane, I was jealous of you guys in P3D because I remember going to Dubai and there was no Dubai like downtown area and scenery.
Oh,
And finally, was it I forgot who it was, came out with a Dubai airport, but it was just
Yeah.
the airport. So I bought the Dubai FSX P3D scenery, and there was a program that allowed you to convert it. And then I
No
added
way.
both together, like so I had the downtown Dubai and the airport. But the problem was I couldn't get rid of the. If you look at my last X-Plane stream that I did into Dubai, there's like triangles on the ground, like big triangles. It's supposed to be the lights, but those lights from FSX don't work in X-Plane. Exactly. I had a Franken scenery that I made.
And there was so much of that we had to do back in the day.
Didn't you do something like that, Mike?
I've done so much of that, bro.
Yeah.
It's not even funny. Like to XP's point, like these simmers these days, man. If you're just getting into flight sim, don't know how good you've had it.
Man,
We've had to
amazing.
Frankenstein some
Orbit,
stuff, boy.
like before the P3D. To get in the P3D, you had to spend a minimum of $200 because you had to get the orbit pack. I mean, all of them. So Johnny, what orbits did you get? All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
Man, my hard drives. Whew.
Yeah, you have to
Right?
manage. I think P3D, you have to manage your RAM usage or whatever.
Yeah,
sure.
man.
I
Or else you
know.
rammed out quick and boom, CTD gone.
Yep.
No.
Remember changing
no
wing
collect
views
200,
and the screen
nothing.
redrew from a black screen and the wings came back up. Like,
Gone.
yeah.
Like it was a struggle bus for a while, man, for many years. And now, like when you look back, we're in a different place, man. Flight sim is I can never get bored of this. I get bored of planes now and again and sceneries now and again, but like there's always something new.
But to your point, Mike, here's what's beautiful and what Microsoft brought. You can pick any destination in the world and it feels like you're in that destination.
Yep.
There you go. Yep.
Japan feels different from Australia, feels different from Africa, feels
Yep.
different from South America, just the terrain alone. And you feel like you're there in it, right?
100%.
And then you combine that. I did a flight one time, a long haul, and I flew like through Chinese airspace or something because they were giving me meters instead of flight level. It's like, I was like, where's the meters button on the 350? I have no idea. But I heard the ATC and they were speaking the native language around English. You know what I'm saying? Just
This was on VATSIM?
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Level
cool.
immersion. Same thing in South America. Coming through, you're in Spanish.
That's true,
You know what
because
I'm
I go into Cancun all the time, and those controllers there, you hear it
love
all the
it.
time.
I love it. You have to
Wow.
have a keen ear and listen out.
Yep.
And that, as you say, you practice with that. That probably sets you up for the real world. You know what I mean?
100%.
100%.
Without a doubt.
Gives you a leg up.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's I don't know, to me, because sometimes I talk to the fellows all the time. It's like, man, it'd be nice to just fire up one sim, but there are some developers out there who they've developed for this particular platform for X amount of years, and they just don't see themselves going anywhere else. There are a few out there that would love to make a transition from X-Plane to Microsoft. Y'all probably know who I'm talking about because
I can name several.
But like to XP's point, I'm just gonna go ahead and drop the name Hot Start. Would love for to see a challenger in 2020, and it's like like GPS outages. Who's doing that?
Nobody.
Like there's some folks that don't even think GPS outages are a thing. It's just always there, but it's not. You go into another country, boop,
Do your rain checks.
right, and it's just, man, it's just tough to get that anywhere. But they've made it abundantly clear. I think we had Gord on as well. And they also mentioned that they have no intentions on making that transition, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's unfortunate because I would love. Now I know our good friends at FlyFX are working on Challenger. I mean, not Challenger. Oh yeah, they are working on Challenger 350.
Yeah,
Challenger 350 and a Citation 10. Can't wait for that one. So things are coming around for like corporate jets, but there are a couple developers out there. It's like, man, if they went over, I don't know what I don't know what that would do for the X-plane market as a whole, because there are some heavy hitters. Like if they came over, a couple others, Tolis came over, like, what do you do? So
Phoenix does GPS degradation. Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the whole X-plane but Microsoft conversation. Think about it this way, because I think about this every day, because I do fly both sims.
mm-hmm.
We're going on 4 years, and we predicted the death of X-plane 4 years ago.
Yep.
It's still around.
Mm-hmm.
It's developing slow.
Really
slow.
developing.
But we're also getting more planes in Microsoft. We now have the full complement of the Airbus narrow bodies, right? So you don't really have to go back to a Tolis. The Tolis was holding you in X-plane. The 321 Neo from Tolis was, that's my plane. Now we got one from Phoenix. 757, I go back to X-plane 4. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the Bluebird coming out, and the 76, right? So slowly they're ticking off one by one all these planes that we used to hang on with to go back to the other sim.
Exactly.
So not going to write off a sim at all. The playing card that X-plane needs to play is to get the scenery up to snuff.
That's all they got to do.
That's all they got to do.
That's it.
And do it as quickly. And I've always called Microsoft good enough. You give them something good enough and everybody stays. The scenery is beautiful, right? So it brings everybody. But the flight model is good enough. The planes are good enough. You know what I mean? You can call out multiple things in X-plane that's better than Microsoft, but Microsoft is good enough. And that's all you need. And you're good. So X-plane now needs to get a scenery that's good enough.
That's good enough.
Right?
Yeah.
That's good enough.
Yep.
And get it quick and get it easy to use.
Yep.
And see where we stand from then.
From
you
then.
understand? I'm not even talking about it from a competition point of view. I'm talking
Absolutely not. Nope.
There are people who have Macs who can't get Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
It's a Mac. It's not a PC. Linux, things like that. You can't run it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Those people can't get a Microsoft Flight Simulator on their computers. So they stay with their Mac. So and it's used for serious aircraft development for different things.
Absolutely.
But they need to get the beauty of the thing. Like, we need some beauty. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get that out quick. And then we'll have two sims that we can go back and forth from, depending on what your like is and what your flavor of the day is.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I was doing that for a long time, man, but I haven't been in X-plane. I won't lie for
Sure.
a while.
I'm 95% Microsoft.
95.5. Interesting.
95.
Yeah.
You're a
I'm
big
probably
X-plane guy. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm probably 90-10. Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
my hot star.
And it's that Challenger.
Yeah,
it's mostly the Challenger you're jumping over for. That's interesting. Listen, we're an hour so far into this. I do want to acknowledge the chat and everyone that's on. I appreciate you guys for joining and even joining in the conversation today. Really, really great so far. So Sherwin did mention the Phoenix does have GPS degradation, by the way, Johnny. But you were a beta tester, so you would know that. Of course they do. Phoenix for the win. Big shout out to HD.
Oh my God. Oh my.
Oh no, I'm gonna pay for that one later.
Yeah.
HD
HR
Sims
wants you to see them after the show. Just want to let you know.
So if y'all have a problem, it's Johnny's fault.
bring your laptop.
Bring your laptop. Your company issued devices. At least one guy from Hot Star Team is a massive X-plane fan. But I mean, I got that sense. I won't lie, when we were talking to them and asked them about them coming over to 2020. Listen, I think at the end of the day, there's a difference between we can't and we won't. We can't. The technology doesn't support our ability to really do what we want. I understand that. We don't have the resources or the manpower, or wouldn't be really economical for us to go and take on that venture. Completely understand. But to just say, nah, we won't, X-plane's our thing, I think you're missing out on a huge level of support from additional people that only fly 2020. And for people that are slowly migrating away from X-plane altogether into 2020, your product is phenomenal. Why not at least attempt or explore the opportunity to bring your product there versus no, we're just not going to do it. So that's my only issue with taking that stance. A 350 is coming. I can't wait for that one. What do you guys think? That's any build, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Looks
That's gonna be
solid.
a-
I know you guys are earbust out, so I see
That's-
Johnny's
I'm a-
face over there.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
the 350 though.
I'm gonna
350
let y'all
solid.
have
I'm
the
kind of
floor on that one.
excited about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
380, yep, 380's coming too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's definitely, to Andy's point, definitely been an exciting few months for the flight sim community. It's been tremendous. XP, man, I do want to spend some time here to talk about your growth and your success, man, and what you've been
Jeez.
able to accomplish and bring to the community for sure. Like I witnessed it firsthand at 2 expos now, last year at Houston and this year. And you're really a staple. You're a staple community. And you know, again, even just at the start, you talking about VR and wanting people to actually go out and try it speaks volumes. I don't remember where you were subscriber wise when you came on 3 years ago, but you've grown tremendously since then.
It's funny.
What? Yeah, you were looking.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish.
What has that meant for you, man? Like how have you seen sort of, I know you talk about all the time, you could not have imagined this in your wildest dreams 5 years ago and really think you'd be doing this and continuing to do this and the support of the community. What has that meant for you?
Jeez. It's funny because now I'm thinking about it. It's like it's flight simming is now integrated into my entire lifestyle and life and schedule and what I do. It's like booked time in it, you know. So there's family time, right? There's relationship time, there's wife time, there's kids time, there's holiday time and vacation time and work time. But there's flight simming time too as well. You know, just people ask me, hey man, you know, I want to start flight simming. What do I need to do? And I tell them, you need a schedule. So I've been Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 5 years.
For years.
Like, you know, yeah, you miss time here and there because of emergencies or whatever come up, but it's been so integrated into like my being for the last 5 years. You know, it can't not be, and you know, and try to maintain your presence in the community, right? You're still there. You know, me and Blue talk all the time. You know, I love having somebody I can bounce ideas off of. Hey man, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? You know, we discuss stuff and talk about it. You know, I was like, dude, we need to record our conversation. Just put it out there. I don't care if it's a cell phone because, you know, but it's a lot that happens in the flight sim community that you have to keep on top of. Right. And you hear something, you got to go research it to know about it so you can talk about it, form an opinion on it, because people are going to ask you. Like, you know, XP, what's your opinion on X? I'm like, what? I haven't heard about that. Got to go look it up, like real quick. Like the FS Labs thing that Johnny just mentioned. I didn't know that they came back and said something. Now I got to go look that up. But what's it meant for me? It's opened up my doors to meet you guys. Like, as you said, 2 expos now. We sat down, we had dinner together at that
Korean barbecue.
Korean barbecue, man. That was good.
That was some good food. Shout out to Big Ralph.
Bro. Shout out to Big Ralph. Exactly. You know, we were like cooking food. We paid all this money to cook our own
food.
But meeting the community, man. There's HD, there's Mikey, there's Cam, there's Geo.
Man, all of it's great. That was awesome.
I'm having to start having people come over to my house, you know, which you guys are strangers online. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're all like, who are you talking to online? These people, you know what I'm saying? But now it's like, I said it to somebody the other day, like, so I have friends from high school. That's a whole friend group. I have friends from college. It's another friend group. They don't know each other. Now I have flight sim friends. That's a whole different friend group for me. Right? And they're true friends. I'm not just talking about we get online and we talk and we don't, you know what I mean? Like, I can pick up the phone and say, hey man, I need this or whatever, you know, I need help with whatever. So it's a whole life integrated into my life for this stuff. You know what I mean? So the opportunity to meet everybody once a year at Flight Sim Expo is huge for me. It's a huge deal. You know what I mean? You've seen how it buzz around and, you know, you're going and you're doing and you're talking to and so forth. The opportunity to, you know, to be fortunate enough to get products to review from developers, so to speak. I mean, whether it's a scenery from software developers, you know, Vertical Sim or anybody else, and then hardware stuff, you know, to be one of the first to touch and feel and formulated an opinion on it and see if it's crap or not, or to tell somebody, hey man, yeah, I don't want that. Because I can't go show this to somebody. Look, if you guys kind of, if the audience kind of knows sometimes what goes on behind the scenes and the emails you get every day of what people want you to like sell and showcase, you'd be stunned. Oh yeah, we're advertising smart water. You want it? Like, no, cereal, soap, like it's like,
Really?
oh
On the
dude,
Flight Sim
on
channel?
the Flight Sim channel.
No
Yeah,
way.
so, some of the stuff I think it's
Wow.
got to be a scam. Like, there's no way. Like,
Jet A flavor, Jet
they're
A.
like, yeah,
soap.
we watch your channel, we like what you do, so we're thinking that you could sell shampoo. I'm like, you don't watch my channel. Shut up. What are you talking about? Right? You don't know what I do. He was like, no, this is flight sim.
Oh my God.
They don't want to even look at it. But the community, though, at the end of the day, it's the community among
Yep.
everything else. Meeting you guys, talking to you guys, even if it's just once a year, right? We know the face. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Out each other's channel, see what you're doing. Get a glimpse. That's the biggest thing more than anything else. At the end of the day, it's the community.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I mean, you see people pop up in your chat, and there's like, they do a message or a donation, and it shows you how long they've been subbed to you.
Mm.
5 years, 48 months. Like, you've been here that long, man. Around when you had 10 subs.
Yeah, man. The day ones.
The day ones.
Day
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
That hits different, I bet, for sure.
Yeah. The day ones.
It's important, man.
Yeah.
So,
But
so
yeah,
cool.
that's basically it. It's audience. It's at the end of the day, it's gonna be the audience. It's gonna be the audience. You're gonna live and die by your audience. You should enjoy yourself, though. You should enjoy yourself, what you're doing.
Mhm.
If you don't, it's gonna come across.
Yep.
I've had people look at me and go,
Yep.
"XP, you okay, man?" I'm like, "What happened?" Like, your face, bro. It's not the same today. I'm like, you see that on camera, really?
You
Like,
could tell,
I
man.
had a
Yeah.
tough day at work today. I had to wipe it off and go in front of the camera like it never happened. Hit that intro music, pretend like it's good. So, yeah,
Jail.
yeah, man. Yep.
Used to have
Screenshots
screenshots.
and stuff,
Screen.
too.
Hey man, those screenshots. That was it.
We
Yeah,
all started somewhere, man.
yeah, we
That's
did.
it.
Yeah, that was
I
it.
think we were following like Twitch, because over at Twitch is a whole different world, right?
It is.
They have
Yeah.
a countdown clock and all this stuff. I was like,
That's
I don't
true,
want a
yeah.
countdown clock. I just want to jump into it.
Yep.
Let's rip some music or something, and whatever. But yeah, and then what keeps me excited in the community still after 6 years is new stuff, new products, new hardware, new software, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Like, if I could still look out the window and go, wow, like,
Mhm.
yeah, and we all do it, man, especially some kind of
yeah.
new approach somewhere.
Yep.
You're like, man, look at that. I'm looking more out the window than paying attention to like lining up,
Find the
Exactly.
approach.
localize the approach. So that is like,
Especially in VR.
oh, now we're gonna go back to the
We gotta go back to
cams
that
right
night.
there. Yeah,
At
No,
your heart. Let's see.
honestly, Charlie, I'm glad you said that. So let's say you start at enthusiasm level of 10, right? And then you've flown all the planes, you've been to all the sceneries, you've been to Atlanta 18 times, and people tell you, do not fly Atlanta again because we've seen it so many times. But it's your favorite airport, right? So, your level comes down from a 10, you're like at an 8 and a 7.5. And then there's a lull where there's no new planes and no new software, but you still got to maintain. Like, so you're hovering around like a 7.
Mhm.
Then new planes come out, your enthusiasm goes up again for a week because you're going to fly that plane because you just paid $70 for it. You're going to fly it like for the next 10 days, you and everybody else online. You know what I'm saying? That sim's going to show all 777s flying for the next
All
3 weeks
Oh,
straight, man.
weeks. Right?
3 weeks straight.
And then here comes VR. And you're like, wait a minute. Oh, snap. Level goes up to 15.
Wow.
Like, legit. It's a whole new simulator in VR. It's a
Wow.
whole new
Wow.
experience, right? It really and truly is that different of a thing than what you've been doing all this time. So no matter if you're in the same airport and the same plane you've been flying for 5 years, it takes on a whole different meaning now because of
Mhm.
what you're looking at, feeling, and seeing. You understand? So that's going
Wow.
to keep you for a minute. So you want to redo and recreate and all those approaches that you did that you love for the first time, like
You
the
gotta do
river
it.
visual. You got to
Yeah.
go do them
Yep.
again
Yep.
and see if you really got what it takes. Because now it's more challenging. Now it's more challenging. You got to be like, all right, let's see what it looks like in there. You know, and then
Wow.
it's like that. So I haven't. And all right, let me give you an example.
Mhm.
People goes, XP, do you fly offline like on your time? I'm like, no. Every time you see me fly, I'm streaming because I don't have the
Oh,
time. It's a schedule
really?
thing. Yeah, I
Oh,
don't fly
gotcha.
offline. I don't have the time. I'm coming from work. I have 30
Mhm.
minutes to go take a shower, eat some food, sit down in front of the sim, and I fly.
Yep.
And then the other days off, the wife makes sure that she schedule me for whatever it is.
That's
I'm like,
it.
yes, dear. Like, all right, babe. No problem. I got it. We're going.
Yep.
So I got the VR thing, and for the first time in years, somebody caught me. I'm doing a flight in VR, not streaming, right? Because I'm so immersed in it. And I was like, I use my call sign 2806. Like, XP, is that you? I'm like, yeah. I thought you didn't fly offline. I'm like, I don't. But this time, yeah, I was flying with HD Sim. I'm like, HD, where are you flying today? I'm gonna fly along with you. You're gonna stream? No, no, no. I just want to fly. Like, it's VR makes you do that.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
VR snob. I didn't know, Rob, you run VR too.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
man. Rob he was the one that kind of first told me, introduced me to it again. But see, here's the thing, fellas.
and that's
that I
coming from an
think
Airbus captain,
a
ladies and
captain.
gents. I mean,
Love you, Rob. But so my thing was okay. I remember when like the HTC Vive and all that came out. I remember you needed a freaking nuclear power plant to run it.
yes.
So that was like immediately. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'll just stick with
Mhm.
my flat screens and do my thing like I've been doing for the past 15 years. And slowly I've noticed that along with the price point, there's been some efficiencies done as well to make it a little more playable on mid to high to mid end machines because I have a 4070. So and I've seen several content creators such as yourself, XP, and some others. Because I think you have a 4080 Super, and there's a couple of users out there with 4070s, and they're just fine. You dial your settings in accordance to your performance that you're looking for. But for the most part, it's a really good experience. And my son, so my oldest, he wanted a one of those metas for Christmas. So I bought it. And of course, with every child, he messes with it for like a day, throws it in the closet, never to be seen again. Cleaning out his closet. And I'm like, you were gonna give it away, goodwill. He was like, nah, I don't want it. I'm like, well,
not even a year ago.
So yeah, a year ago. So I was gonna put it in the shop. I was like, let me try it out. And I tried it out in DCS, but I also play DCS as well. And just with the meta, I'm like, I don't know if y'all remember me on the chat. Like I plugged it up.
yeah.
I'm just like,
That's right. Yeah.
fellas, well, I see something here, but wasn't quite. It was quirky to me. But listening to XP, it seems as if Pi Max kind of fixed all of that. So I don't know if it looks anything like what I experienced with the meta or better. I don't know, fellas. Your boy might be picking one up. I'm just saying.
I have another VR headset. Another company sent me one, and I did a quick video on it for them. It wasn't a Pimax, somebody else. And immediately I saw the difference. Like,
Really?
Yeah. It's
Wow.
like,
Wow.
yeah. It's like once you go 4K on your monitor, you can't go back to 720.
That's true. Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can't.
you can't.
No.
I think
It's
that's what threw me off on them. I think it was like 720p or something like that.
Yeah. No. So what you're looking at in the Pimax, I want to say it's either between 4K and 8K. That's why it takes so much. You know what I mean? Rendering off it. Reason why the resource is so much. What I'm learning is that, basically you have two lenses, and what those two lenses are looking at is two screens, and each screen is a 4K screen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like basically 2 4K monitors.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah, so
got
you have
it.
two
Okay.
4K monitors
That
in your
makes
head,
sense.
and then you have another monitor in front of you. So your graphics card is running 3 monitors.
Right.
That's why.
That makes
But
sense.
the beauty of Microsoft is that, as I said, you can turn down the independent, the monitor versus the headset. You know what I mean? I love
makes
that.
sense.
They did it right.
That makes sense.
That is a reason why it's intensive. But if you can dial it in and get it right,
Right.
it makes the difference. It does make the difference.
Wow.
It really does. And it just, Mikey said it. He goes, we weren't missing a good flight monitor in Microsoft. We're missing VR. Because going back and forth between X-Plane and Microsoft, I could tell that the Microsoft flight model was not as fluid as X-Plane. In VR, I never had a complaint about it, and I still don't understand why. There's so much going on in VR that I don't notice the
It
notchiness.
minimizes the yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's like my brain is on overload. I can't even.
Right.
Sensory overload.
Yeah, and another thing happened to me as well is that there's a difference between Airbus and Boeing in the way it felt flying. So, let me see if I can explain it. So, you're looking at how over the horizon, and you pitch up with the side stick. Instead of, it's almost like the tail is what you feel first before the nose goes up. In the Airbus, in the Boeing, it's different.
Really?
It took me a while to get. I don't know if that's the way it is in real life. Like, I've never flown a big
Airbus.
airplane.
Yeah. Rob, Yellow Bus? Do you know? Is that the same sensation? If you're still on,
the sensation was a little
That's
different.
interesting.
But
That's
because you're so immersed in it, it's like I don't notice that it's not as fluid as X-Plane anymore. Like that's not even a concern. It's not a concern anymore. Mikey said it because Mikey was with me and he experienced that as well. And
wow,
dude, he was in it. Like he came over and he was like in it hours.
Wow.
We spent 6 hours. Yes, we did. We spent 6 hours, man. Yeah.
I couldn't imagine helicopters. Oh my gosh. Oh.
We're just doing something
Wow,
simple
legit.
like some pattern work and a
Yeah.
Comanche,
Yeah, pattern work, VR, VFR flying.
Exactly.
Completely different.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's completely different. And then the funny part about it is like, so you're loading up into all the favorite birds, the 777 and the 76 and the 75 and the 833. I'm like, okay, load up in a Cessna, and you're like, what the hell? You're like, you feel it first right beside your shoulder. It's that tiny.
Totally spot on.
The scale, exactly. The scale of it is that what gets
spot
you.
on.
Had to sit in the back seat.
Exactly.
I tell you, man, if I'm in a 172, because I'm a bigger guy, like me and another buddy of mine, like we gotta like alternate. So like,
hang your arm at the window.
1 6 forward, 1 6
there you go, right there. So we're doing this. All right, that's it.
Don't be rubbing my shoulders.
Exactly.
Sounds like we gotta get you in the series.
Got to make that.
Oh man, yeah.
You get him in, it's getting him out. That's the problem.
Bring in the jaws of life and a lot of butter. We get to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hot air balloon in the VR, dude. You know what would be good in VR too? Skydiving.
Whoa!
It is
that would
scary
be sick.
to look out over and down when you're at altitude. Yes,
Man, I've seen
scary.
people literally fall down when they're wearing those headsets and they're simulating being at height. Yeah.
It's scary, man. So,
Yeah,
I know. It's like I feel like I'm repeating myself. I'm just going on about VR, but
that means we just gotta try it, man.
we just gotta try it.
Yeah, Mike, I'll send you my address.
I have an open invitation. You want to come to my house and try it? I want you to, because I want to know that I am not losing my mind. Right? I want to know that I'm not going on and on and on about it. All right. If you check out V1 stream today, he talked about coming over and experiencing the thing. And he even described it better than I did. And I value his opinion because he flies the stuff every day. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You fly our Cirrus, Mike, so like you could talk about it. So he came and blew him away. That's it. He's like,
Wow.
yeah, good. See, Yellow Bus says depth perception, field of view. Airbus windows are bigger. The bus has a touch more
To
floaty.
the
Yeah,
40,
the touch
yep.
is more floaty because of its wings.
Could
Could
be
be
what
part
you're
of the feeling.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That detailed, you can now not feel the difference in flying, but feel the difference in motion.
Oh my lord, man.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. I forgot what he was doing. He was V1 was looking at something on the ground, and just out of his peripheral, the airplane started turning, and his stomach, he felt it in his stomach.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah, because of yeah. Because of
Oh, that's dope.
because the way you see,
It's your sensory. Yeah.
it's your
Yep.
sensory.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing that connection and how VR
Right,
kind of
with-
bridges that.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Mikey D's point at a butt kicker.
Yep.
Man,
Oh,
shit,
you're
get out of here.
When I get a butt kicker, I'm going to come back on and we'll talk about butt kicking in 2 hours.
Man, I've been an avid butt kicker user for. I think I first got my butt kicker in 2018. I've been
So you
telling
got
you
one?
guys, man.
Man,
I've had
you've
one
been preaching
since
ever since.
Wow.
I've had one since 2018, a butt kicker gamer 2. I've been telling people because it's like it never really was intended for flight sim. A lot of people used it for other gaming or even music. And I don't remember what prompted me to get one. And I never looked back. I use it every flight. And you can really tell if you want to know if a developer has a great depth or level of simulation as it relates to aircraft sounds, the butt kicker will tell you.
The butt kicker tell
I
you.
remember using FS Labs, my first butt kicker flight in, I think it was P3D, and you drop in those speed brakes incrementally and incrementally feeling the butt kicker give off more and more vibrations as you deploy those speed brakes. I mean, if my butt kicker is not working, I'm not flying. Exactly, my PD. I can't. And the same thing when you're spooling up those engines, or when those engines are retarding for that descent. Oh,
really?
And that initial spool up when you're starting those engines, Phoenix does a really good job as well. I think I have a video on my channel. It's been a long time since I recorded one, but like you can literally, as you start engine 1 and engine 2, feel that. See, blue nose, like it's.
exactly.
Whoa, man.
Yeah, that's true.
There's it's one of those things where it's like, I don't really need it, and then you get it and you're like, nah, I can't fly without it. It's the same thing. I think if it's really, really well done, you can feel turbulence as well.
Sure.
And there are other things you can tweak, and even a profile that I think the butt kicker has that you can make even more efficient to feel every little thing. You feel the taxiway center line lighting, the runway center line lighting, man. It brings immersion to a whole nother level. So yeah, you combine that and your VR, whew, you don't leave the house, man.
Don't leave the house.
Amazon.com, bro.
Amazon.com.
Oh
Next day
my
delivery.
Next day, man. I mean, wow, what an amazing. I keep saying this, fellas, because like I don't know, it's just
Johnny's wheels are turning.
Man, my going, bro, because like this was unheard of several years ago, and like here we are today having a discussion about how your depth perception. You didn't even talk about depth perception
in flights,
in flight, no. So I mean that's really cool to see. And I'm gonna tell you, like, and to your point, XP, I can totally see that. Give it a couple of years. No one be thinking about monitor. No, you don't be thinking about monitor.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, we didn't have the Thrustmaster side stick and yoke and throttle. We didn't have the Turtle Beach. We didn't have the honeycomb. We had generic. What was it? Logitech or
Logitech, SideTech.
SideTech.
If you're CX
now
product.
we have, Now we have this thing right here. Like,
that's freaking.
Come on. Like this, we have this thing right here.
I said to these guys the other day, man, you could get your own cockpit built out with all these peripherals that these people continue to drop, man.
Yep. Yeah.
And just swap things out as you need them. Those things used to, even if you did have them before, they were through commercial manufacturers at thousands of dollars.
$1,000. I wanted to get a Boeing EFIS panel. and it was
Mhm.
always like $500 to $1,000. Now it's
Yeah,
going to be
see.
what, $129.
Exactly.
The
Wing Wing,
FMC,
man.
the MCDU
Yeah.
from Wing Wing is $129. You saw that
Yeah.
Flight Sim Expo.
Uh-huh.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, come on.
I,
Man,
mean,
yeah.
I knew it. I
Flight Sim.
knew it. I'm gonna say this, Mike. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm about to
No,
jump
no,
on
you're
the
good.
bandwagon, the Wing Wing bandwagon real quick. I knew it when they first hit the scene in DCS, and the quality, and saw the quality of peripherals that they were dropping for DCS. I said if they screw around and hit the civilian sim market, like with MSFS 2020 and X-Men, all that, it's a wrap. At the price point, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap, man.
And they have created since Expo, it has been a tidal wave in the industry.
Yeah.
My goodness, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you just can't beat the price point.
Yeah, we just need a throttle quadrant Wing Wing. Come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Yes.
See, Quentin said it right there. I don't mean to go back here. He goes, I'm so glad VR is now getting so much exposure because it's going to drive and push the technology in flight sim. It
Spot
is.
on.
You're
Yep,
going to see
spot on.
prices
That's
coming
true.
down even more, and then they're going to get better
Mhm.
because Microsoft is bringing 12 million plus people to a new
Yep.
market.
It's opening in the market.
Any-
Yeah.
The
Any
market,
developer who drops in with the right product is going to make millions of dollars.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
Say, yo, how much money they made on 777? Let's say,
That's a good point.
15%
Didn't we do
of
that
a
math
good
the other
point.
day?
okay,
Oh yeah.
15%
It was
of the user
ridiculous.
base bought the 777 at $70. How
Right.
much money is that? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. Right. So
Mhm.
yeah, you're right. You're right. It will bring the price down. Somebody else will go, you know what? Screw Pimax. We can make a better headset than them, and we're going to drop it at an even better price and make it geared towards flight sim. Because now
Yep.
flight sim is a legit, like, good market to be in
Yeah.
if you have a product.
For the
Yeah.
first
Well,
time,
you're-
this was
Yeah.
amazing, man. Oh,
Yeah, and
been
you
telling
kind of seen
people-
it with force feedback. Sorry, Mike.
No, go
There
ahead.
you
Go
go.
ahead.
Moza.
Yeah.
Forgot about that too.
Oh, Moza.
yeah, Mosley,
Man,
yeah, Blue. Shout out to Blue Games, man. I've seen
There you go.
his X post where Moza, they're doing an Airbus force feedback stick. Sheesh.
Yep. I've got
They
their
just
steering
dropped
wheel.
the Airbus add-on for the top of it. Did you guys see that?
I did
I
not see
missed
that.
Oh yeah, Moza just dropped the Airbus. They're at some expo now. It's
Let me
got the
see.
Airbus stick from the Moza on top of the force
Oh,
feedback.
wow.
Yes, they do.
That's
It is
cool.
out.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah, look at that.
Yes, it is.
Can you share
Wow.
it, Mike, on the
Yeah, Moza is going to drop that
stream
thing.
note?
See
Yeah,
if
I'm
I can
saying,
get-
you know,
Yeah, because I maybe I missed that one. I saw the one. I
Yeah.
saw what Blue dropped there. I was like, woo.
and if you see the one that V1 has, he already has a Airbus top on top of the Moza, and he has a short video that shows you him in the cockpit deflecting the side stick and seeing the action of it, and then shows the Moza with the same exact deflection and feel.
Oh my god.
He's like, it's almost one
Oh,
for one.
wow.
share this. Well, it's
Yeah,
not letting
yeah.
me share it.
So, we have come a very, 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 very,
very
long way.
long way.
You
Let
know,
me ask you this, XP. Do you see? I don't know if you're around during like the Microsoft flight days back in the day. Do you see Microsoft potentially pulling another Microsoft flight where it didn't work, guys? We're bailing. I don't think I don't see it, but
Okay.
maybe it's me.
you
Always a
have to think
concern.
of it from a business perspective, and I've
Mhm.
always been saying this, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you fly Microsoft Flight Sim, especially on a PC, you
Mhm.
bought that sim one time only. You did not give them any other money, especially if you don't use the marketplace. You bought third-party stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All that data that they're shoving to you every time you fly for hours from a server costs money to
Yep.
send it to you,
Mm-hmm.
but you get to use it for free.
Mm-hmm.
Who pays for that? So I'm thinking it's the Xbox community that pays for that, because Xbox is a
Right.
subscription or whatever the case may
Subscription
be.
based.
They have enough people to stray it. The day that, for some reason, Xbox
Dries up.
dries up, either they're going to charge you for it or it's going to go bye-bye.
Mhm. It's gonna
I
go
don't think
bye-bye.
that time is now, though. I don't think that time is now.
No.
2024 is going to drop.
It's too
So-
hot right now. Yeah.
It will be 8 more years before we know.
Mhm.
Yep.
And they're going to have the two sims side by side. Why, I
Mhm.
don't know, but they're gonna have the two sims side by side. I want to see what's so different in 2024. Why I need to hold on to 2020. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, we've had that
Competition as
well.
discussion.
What are you gonna
We-
do? It's two different sims require two different hard drive space, two different community folders, or whatever.
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
wondering if I can use my add-on linker and link it to two different
link
sims.
them
Like it's
together.
Yeah.
Sims.
You know.
Mhm.
Exactly.
But but to your main question, we'll know in 4 years or 2
Yeah.
years from now. We'll see how
Yeah.
if it's new and everybody in Xbox community loves flight sim and they casually fly around with the instrumentation on the outside, and I hate it because they have the altitude and the speed and the point of interest, and but that's more than half the market, right?
Yep.
We'll see what happens in
Yep.
2024. Will determine.
Oh yeah, and insurance spot on as well. Yeah, right now Microsoft's making too much money on it. So yeah, it's not going nowhere. It's not going nowhere.
Right.
No.
Right.
Rohan, yeah. What about quality wings? Any word on them? This discussion
Man,
has came
we've been
up.
talking about this.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Johnny.
Anyone? I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Have you? I don't know. Like where's Waldo?
No,
Where's quality
man.
wings? I don't know.
Literally, like I feel like every other podcast we have a segment on where the hell is quality wings.
And FS Labs.
Well, yeah, FS Labs, we know they're doing their thing, but
Quality wings. That 787 that I
they just
thought
disappeared off
was
the
going
face
to
of
be
the
the
earth.
game. I thought it was going to be the mic. Look, when I bought the
That was
premium
it.
edition,
You
I
thought
thought the
that was the one.
787 was going to be a quality wing 787.
Me
Yep,
too.
that's what I thought.
I did.
That's what they almost
did.
advertised them simultaneously. You thought it
Mhm.
was either that in the sim or it was a fast follower. And here we are 4 years later and we
Exactly.
haven't heard a peep.
Not
It's
a word.
weird, man.
Yeah.
Probably
I-
just went belly up, right?
I've even
Oh,
gone
they
into
went
the
belly. Is that
forums,
what
man.
happened, Blue? I tried looking at forums. I've tried looking at news. I have not
The
heard
forums.
anything from them.
I've gone in the forums and it's just dead. And then there's a lot of folks in the forums that are like, "Hey, you guys there?" Crickets.
Yeah.
They need to take their website down or something, man. I mean,
The website is still up.
Is it still up?
yeah, the website is fully here. The support forum is still here. Just no one's talking.
Are they still getting sales for P3D?
Oh, wait a
FS
minute.
Labs?
There was a May 15, 2024 press release. How did we miss that one?
Really? Uh-oh. Read that thing.
Did we miss that one? No, I'm reading something different. No, my bad. That was a press release, and the last thing somebody did was comment on it in May of
Okay.
2024.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I think
So,
that's what I heard. They went out of business and PNG hired some of the guys. Not official, just what you heard. Gotcha. Wow.
Man,
I
that's
see.
unfortunate. I love their 787. I'm not a y'all know I'm not a long haul guy, but
I know.
I sent the dog crap out of that thing. Man.
That's
Oh
787,
my lord. Oh my gosh, you guys.
Hey, look. Let me tell you, when the 787 comes out from Bluebird and the 75 and the 76 and the Max, Airbus ain't seeing me for a minute. I'm
That's
saying
what
right
I'm
now.
telling you, XP. I'm right there with you. I've been telling these guys here, and they get sick of me. But the day a 757 drops for 22, I don't want to hear anything else. Just don't want to hear it.
I don't know, man. I have no affinity for that 7.5. It just looks like a flying
Man.
pencil. XP, you worked on it,
it's-
right? I think
Yeah, it's
that's
one of
why.
the
So you,
comfortably
Yeah.
airplanes to
yeah. I
I mean,
I'm
it's
trying to
all-
think. I don't think I've ever
It's all
been
about
on
what you're
one.
familiar with. I think you mentioned that, Mike. It's all about what you've been exposed. Like I've jump seated on the 200, 300.
Oh, that's
And
why.
I mean, like, it's always been
Gotcha.
a thing for me, man. Something about a
Gotcha.
300, dude. Just it doesn't even look like it's supposed to fly. But I mean, oh my
Hey,
Lord,
look,
man.
if
Whew.
Mike, if anything,
Yeah.
Captain Chemtrails has flown the Airbus, the 7.3 and the 7.5, and he
7.5.
said the 7.5 is the best plane he's flown. so far.
Really?
Yes, that's the
Wow.
one. 7.5.
That's
And
saying
he's
something.
been a captain on all three of
On
them.
all three of them. That's
Yes.
right. Yeah.
The wing, he said the wing design of the 757. That's why it allows the V speed on that thing to be 125 knots. The V ref speed, 130 knots.
Wow.
Versus
Which is
the 7.3,
also-
which is 150, and the Airbus 140 something.
140
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Which is also why it's such a monster to shoot an approach behind because the way turbulence is so gnarly.
Yeah.
Because it's slow and heavy. Clapping for the
Shout for 757. Same.
No, I think that's probably one that I would definitely pick up, even though I don't have an affinity for it. But
Bluebird's gonna change your mind.
It's gonna change it. Yeah.
And I think it's gonna put PMDG kind of in their place too.
I'll notice
Like we've talked about, competition is good for consumers.
it is.
I don't want
I'm
PMG
telling
to
you.
be the only one making Boeing.
No, I'm waiting for that match. When iFly drops that's gonna be. Let it be for the record here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm day one for me.
No, same.
Me too.
I'm an Airbus guy, but I love the Max, man.
I do too.
Who's Max is? I think it was X-Plane. Who makes the Max and X-Plane again?
Well, it's a controversial Max. Was
that's right.
Guy,
yes.
And then it went to another guy. They exclusively
right.
the files, and then
I
another level
forgot
up.
about that whole story.
Now it's been through 4 different people.
Really?
It's still out there. It's still good. It's still viable. It's still flyable. The only reason I don't fly it because I just don't want to hear people yapping.
The
controversy. That's my engines, or that's Zebo's this.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, guys,
exactly.
You're missing the point. X-Plane has been reduced to a smaller niche sim now.
Yep.
Why are you fighting each other over this plane?
Exactly.
There you go.
Nobody's charging any money for it.
Exactly.
Yep. Why?
It's ridiculous.
Look at Microsoft. Fly by wire.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Salty mod, Horizon mod. All these people are making Microsoft better, and we're fighting over. Well, I don't want my FMC, or I don't want my wings, or I don't want my engine, I don't want my sound because something happened 5 years ago.
Yeah,
exactly.
I completely forgot about all of that.
Yeah.
But at the point when it did drop, I was flying the heck out of it. I loved that Max, man. I love the Max. So I can't wait for the iFly one in 2020.
Yeah, the iFly is going to be a first day buy for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be really, really, really good. You know, I can't wait. I'm just hoping that they get the systems down right.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to.
It looks very good.
Were they in P3D, Johnny?
Yeah, they did the 7.3 series.
How was theirs?
There were PMDG's competition for the 7.3, and it was dang solid. They had their
nice.
So there's always been this controversy between how the windows were shaped. A lot of folks on the iFly side said that the windows were more proportionally shaped in the iFly 737, but the PMDG crowd, you couldn't really tell them nothing. So they were like, so it was kind of had that thing. But I mean, to me, again, I've never typed in the 7.3, can tell you. Yeah. But what I found in the PMDG 7.3, I've also found in the iFly.
In the iFly. That's good to hear. So
and they had more variants. They had like the 900 ER or whatever way before PMDG.
Before PMDG did, that's good to know.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the iFly. Definitely, I wanna just grab that. And I won't fly the NG anymore when they put it. NG's done to me when the Max comes out. It's just done.
Tired. Yep. It's time for the NG to be put up. Yep. And that 220 as well. I'm kind of looking forward to that 220. I'm more of a regional guy.
Synaptic?
Yeah,
Synaptic. Yeah.
That was announced like years ago though. What's going why is that taking so long?
It's gonna be
It's freeware, I think. It's a coming
it's freeware.
Project.
I thought they were making it payware. Or
were they?
Am I hearing?
No, was Bill making the 220, or are they doing the 350?
Something came out. Please, chat, bail me out of here. Something came out not too long ago that they were either another company was helping them or something with any bills or something. To where they were kind of looking at maybe collabing or something, and becoming like a payware project. Again, like I heard some news regarding that and something along. I don't remember the details. But they're doing Annie is doing a 220 with another company. Gotcha. Thank you, Sherwin. So regardless, I don't care Big Berg to be doing a 220. I just want a 220 in Microsoft.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying.
Big Bird. Wait, so it looks like who's this virtual call Airbus 220? Is that not any good?
Never heard of it. So
There's a bunch of things on here from the last
Yeah.
Go
month.
to
or
Sim
so.
Market, bro, and look up, bro. Oh, man.
It just goes to show you how connected I am with this. I have not heard anything about it.
Oh, Mike's got his 321. He don't care.
I got about
nothing.
321. I don't care about nothing else, man.
Nothing else. It's a wrap. It's a
Hey,
wrap.
man. Hey, it does the job for some folks. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's right.
It does the job. Yeah. Just like that Captain Sim 717, Charlie.
Oh, it's 7-7.
Oh, that
7-1-7.
thing's awful.
Yeah.
Golly, so bad.
Probably if you were a developer group, Synaptic Solutions decided to change course with the Airbus 220 project and now pursuing a peer model for the airline. That's what you heard, John.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, which I'm okay with that. You know, if that helps expedite the development process, pumps more resources in the development process to make it more, you know, conducive for the developers and more meaningful, I'm all for it. So now the 777 is out and Phoenix has dropped to 319. What aircraft are y'all? Yep, I think we just touched on that, Andy, because I wanted to kind of slide the 220 in there somewhere. But yeah, definitely. But I know in the immediate future for me, will be also the Just Flight RJ. They got the 146. I know like probably none of y'all care about it, but again, I'm gonna be on that.
He loves his old school planes, man.
He does.
Yeah.
Robot came up at that time where you went to the airport, you saw Arrows, you saw Embraer 120, 120s, you saw 727s, you saw DC 932s, you saw MD80s. Now you see a 320, CRJ, Embraer, Boeing.
That's it.
Snorefest.
Monopolistic, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
I get it, you know.
I mean, that's where we're gonna have to go when we get all the major airplanes out of the way. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get back.
By 2 years from now, we have all the 737s, all the A320s, all these 777s, A350s, and all that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all out. Like they're all been announced already. What do you do to keep this thing going after these things drop? You see what I'm saying?
That's a good point. So
they
got to turn to that.
You gotta go to those older planes. You know, we already have the MD-80, MD-11.
Yeah, MD-11.
You know, it's all in there. So
717.
Yeah, 717. Yeah, there you go.
I
won't be flying any of these planes, but I'm just saying.
It's not enough for the streams already today, man.
I remember they bought me a DC-6 on one of my streams, and I bought it. I had it in the hangar. I looked at it, and I deleted it and gave it away. No,
that's what Gio said earlier. Gio was like, "When it's been 4 years, we're trying to get XP to fly."
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Like, nah, I'm not flying it. No. There's just some old planes that, like the 727 is a good old plane, right?
Oh yeah,
it's got a Siva or VR.
Yeah,
you know.
And see, XP, the majority of the 72s I'm familiar with have the FMS upgrade. They've already been upgraded. You know, that Siva, it's a little too retro for me.
So
and you like quirky.
Yeah,
I'm all about quirky, man. That Siva the only circumstance that I can justify a Siva is in the Concorde because that's all it was there. You know,
right?
You know, but aside from that,
1,000 the Concorde.
I'm sure we. Dang it! Somebody's going to try to shoehorn.
There's a G1000 in the 727. What is it's in the 750? It's a GTN 750 or whatever.
Yeah,
the G1000 in Concorde. I'll fly it.
I'll
fly it.
Yeah. I know. But look how far we have come. We started out with the Captain Sim planes.
Yes.
Oh my word. Now
and they were rolling out planes off the line like nobody's business.
To fly a 727, you had to go Captain Sim. There was no other choice.
I had the 777. I bought the 777
on
it.
Yeah.
You know, it's we have to sacrifice, turn our nose up and
sacrifices had to be made. You didn't even want to admit where you got it. Like, hey man, how'd you get
Start from the bottom now. We here.
It's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Struggles, Bill, man. Oh my gosh.
100%, man.
We had some planes that we weren't proud of. Let's just put it that way.
Fly by wire carried us, man. I'm telling you, Sherwin, like
yes,
Carried us through.
that was the only thing that made commercial flying in 2020 tolerable for the first year or so.
yes, yes.
These
Fly
guys
by wire.
will never. Yep.
And that A380 is about to drop too. So
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
yeah, it's true. Fly by wire did carry us. Everything else was just garbage.
Garbage.
That's true.
You know,
Straight junk.
us X-Plane people are just laughing at you guys over here.
Oh man, that was hilarious. I ain't gonna lie. I was from man. I'm like, Mike, where you sitting today?
It's all fly by wire.
All fly by wire flights, man. And then
Oh man.
some GA stuff too. GA is like I really got into GA flying it with 2020 because like that's all we had. That was
Had no
anything.
choice.
That's all you
Had
had,
no
you know.
choice, man.
Yeah, but then you got the Duke now. You got oh my gosh,
solid.
man, it's been on freaking fire.
Lear,
Just like Duke,
Comanche.
yeah.
Mhm.
A2A, the Comanche.
Yeah,
Oh
Comanche,
my gosh,
yeah.
man.
Vision Jet, Honda Jet.
Yeah,
I love the Vision
the
Jet.
Honda. Oh my gosh, man. I'm gonna
Heck,
tell
even
you,
the
like,
helicopters now, bro, are on fire.
yeah, our
Mhm.
good friend Justin over at Fast Cow, he just released. Check this out, guys. It's a y'all. I'm gonna jack this up, Mike. So it's a
Sakari.
Sakari.
Sakari,
See, like my
yeah.
southern accent's
Sakari.
coming out. Sakari.
Man, there's a Sakari.
Sakari. What's the thing for what's Sakari? I'm sorry, Justin. I'm trying, bro. What's it? There we
Oh,
go.
I can't
Sakari
remember the
8R.
model.
So it's like
Yeah.
a kit built helicopter. And man, the thing is pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie.
It is.
Just released like the 19th, I think, and
Mhm.
pretty good price. What's the price drop? I think he dropped it recently, wasn't it?
He did. It was, I think, 25 and dropped it to $15.99.
Jeez.
Yeah, $15 now. Yeah, solid. And apparently, it was done in conjunction with the main aircraft
Feedback.
manufacturer, Sakari. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So-
Oh, really?
Yeah. In fact, he was
Yeah.
one of the gentlemen
Black
that
Square.
did the presentation in the Houston Expo.
Houston Expo, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did.
Yeah.
Right.
So he just released it, man, and it's freaking phenomenal. Yeah, blue Black Square. You got the 301 414.
Oh,
Good
I
friend
forgot.
Raul. Yeah, the FSR 500, which is freaking
500.
Phenom's about to drop. Man, gosh dang it, it's a good time to sim right now. You know,
Great
so
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Sky's
definitely
literally the limit.
literally the limit. But
It's exciting, man.
yeah, I mean, for sure, it's definitely exciting. But I think one of probably the last things I wanted to ask you, XP, have you ever been approached or ever thought or dabbled in the idea of like military simulation as it relates to like maybe DCS
Put it this way. Yes. As a matter of fact, funny story, and I told it before.
Mhm.
DCS is what got me into flight simming. You know, real
Really?
quick.
Oh.
I was I had time at home. I stumbled on a YouTube video, and
Mhm.
there's this guy who was flying an A10, and he had a wingman with him.
Mm.
He was in the cockpit and he's looking around, and I did a couple of dives and rolled and landed. I'm like, how the heck does the military allow these guys to have GoPros in their planes? Like, that's not right. And of course, I did a little research, realized it was DCS, and he had the Track IR on.
Track IR.
Track IR.
Look around and stuff. It's like, wow. I was like, this is a video game. So at the time, all I had was a Mac. So I looked up,
Right.
DC. Oh, you can't fly it on a Mac. I look up flight simming. There was P3D and FSX, and it says X-Plane. I was like, I can get that. So I flew. I got X-Plane 9 initially,
Wow.
and 10, flying at like 10 FPS. I'm wondering why my GA flight from Palm Beach up to Daytona Beach took 3 hours because the sim was slowing the time down. That's what the flight simming was DCS, right? So
Right.
watching Blue fly DCS and stuff, and they only fly any flying I did with fighters was like Ace Combat 5 or whatever.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know about it. But have you seen the planes in DCS and how much it takes to learn one of those bad boys?
Oh
That's
yeah.
why I don't mess with it, man. I tell
Fire
you
up-
guys that all the time.
Fire up that F4, right, Johnny?
There you go. That's a problem. So I
tried,
literally,
man.
In an hour.
yeah, exactly. I would
Bill
have
ain't
to
hit
go,
nothing.
yeah, I would have to go full time streaming to every
Yeah, it's
time to go to DCS. Yeah.
It's crazy.
a lot,
It's
man.
crazy.
Yeah, no, but I love watching it. It's impressive,
Same.
you know, the amount of detail these airplanes have. You know, it's
Mhm.
like, are we giving away national secrets here? Like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, Johnny, do you know how are they allowed to produce
Man,
so
you
much?
know,
Do they
a
hold back
lot
on
of
some stuff?
a lot of the
declassified.
iterations, a lot of the iterations of
Oh.
aircraft that they do are like earlier blocks. So
Oh, so they are
like there
declassified by
was
then.
years ago, man, some guy got in trouble
Mhm.
because he had copies of the F-16 manual that he wasn't supposed to have.
Jeez.
And Buddy
Oh.
got straight locked up. Yes.
No way.
Oh
And
yeah,
but
dude.
yeah, but again, a lot of the
National
earlier
security.
a lot of the earlier blocks now is to Mikey's
Public
point, public
information.
information now. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like the M4, for example, you know, a lot of that's been
Old.
declassified and all that. So
Right.
but you know, to XP's point, you know, I think that's what draws me to it, man. It's just gorgeous. And like, for example, just like the F4, I mean, there's so much character in that airplane. Like it's just stuff rattles, and that's one thing I don't see in 2020. I mean, those of you who have flown old 172s that Scotty
Mhm.
airplane rental service, still
Not Scotty's.
Not
Yeah,
the clapped
Scotty,
out
you
172, bro.
right, old ragged out 172, and the freaking attitude in the
Got a
catering
bent
might be-
blade.
right, kind of cant to the side. Yes, you know, it's okay. Oh yeah, man, you're just kind of like, oh, I think we'll be able to. You know,
case
we
of
might
old
have a
or-
good mag shack.
see?
Yeah, we might have two good magnetos. You know,
Mike.
Might.
but just like the rattling and the, oh crap, that thing. But you know, just like the
Oh, my.
movement outside of the air. I think A2A is probably one of the few developers I've seen that actually gets like the interior vibrations in there and all that. And man, it's just what they've been able to do in DCS is freaking mind blowing. Now they have their share of shenanigans over there as well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it said, and Jester, I mean, they have a whole AI Wizzo back there, you know, and it's just, oh my gosh, you know, and so of course, you know, bought the gear, whatever, but to XP's point, it takes a day. Like now, like me and Charlie, we were flying F4 religiously. Now, dude,
I
it takes
remember.
a good hour. I gotta get recertified
Yeah, we got-
in the thing.
Jeez.
That's it.
Just
So it's not like, hey, I
Have to
haven't
look up
flown the Airbus in a month. I just jump
Yeah.
back in, and it may take you a little bit longer, but the flows come back. The
Nah.
F4 and those military
there's
aircraft
there's
different.
just so much to it. Like just
There's so
even
much.
syncing up the INSs and stuff.
Wow.
Like,
Oh
man.
Lord God! It's like
so
jumping,
you're
like
not
jumping
just
in the
operating-
MD-80. That's it.
exactly, because you're not just
Exactly.
operating the airplane, you're operating the aircraft systems, the weapon systems,
Oh Lord.
the countermeasure systems, the radar systems. I mean, just like the radar and like the Tomcat alone, you need a whole other guy back there.
Yeah, you're
Just to
doing your
run that.
Wizzo's job too.
Yeah, just to
What?
run that. Yeah. So I mean, shout out to them guys who get in there and just it's
Lock
yeah.
on
I'm
and
I'm like
going.
XP, like I don't have the time. You know, I'll carve out some time, you know, Mikey. Yeah.
Mikey
here-
D is spot on.
spot on. If you don't consistently fly DCS, you'll forget entirely.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the MD-80 for me. I did not. You know,
That's why I didn't even buy that plane, man.
yeah,
I just,
it's
Man,
fun
I was-
when you get it.
it's
I
so
heard
much
it's fun.
But half
But
the
it's
chat
like-
is helping you, and they're like, Dogs. And they're shouting at you, telling you, oh, the lead and the this, and it's like backwards. It's like a mishmash of Boeing, Airbus, and McDonnell Douglas.
All
Oh my
together.
gosh,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, McDonnell Douglas was known for that. Like crap, they'll put crap in the overhead panel that's not even related to anything in the
They
immediate
got a
area.
bunch of buttons and go, just where do I put these? Oh, here we go. Just
Oh,
throw them over.
here's
No, and
6
that's the-
inches.
That's the thing for me with these older aircrafts. None of the flows made any sense. Like, how did you
Nope.
even
There's no-
They weren't
develop
thinking about it, man. They weren't worried about
operational
no
flows
flows.
and SOPs
was no
around these
flow.
damn things?
That you have
No.
to know where it is.
Oh man, ain't
Yeah.
no way. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, there was no flow.
Because you have to think, Mike, a lot of those aircraft were designed around the time where they had flight engineers.
So they were
So
doing
that
all
was their jam. So they took some of the things from the flight engineers panel and moved it on the overhead panel
Mm-hmm.
or wherever.
Ah.
So I mean, you just kind of
Yeah,
had to
man, you
make it
gotta
work.
get the bleeds all the way on the other side, man.
Yeah,
That's-
Like,
The
they ain't got
efficiency
time.
of the cockpit was not in mind when they designed this thing. Like,
No.
Not at all for many of them.
yeah.
No.
Shoot, man, we're approaching 2 hours of this thing.
Holy crap.
One very last thing, man. XP, you looking forward to Flight Sim Expo in
Oh yeah, Rhode
Providence?
Island.
What do you think, man?
Oh,
Have
yeah.
you been to Rhode Island before?
Yes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I was up there, babe. When we go to Rhode Island last, because my wife went to school up there, and
Oh,
I
okay.
was
Oh, okay.
dragged kicking and screaming to a high school and a college reunion up there. But I actually enjoyed it. No. I
Nice.
flew JetBlue straight out of Fort
JetBlue
Lauderdale.
Gee. Oh,
direct
here
to
goes Mike.
Providence.
Oh,
And
direct
as
to
a-
Providence?
Yeah, and that approach was actually nice coming in. It was a
Wow.
nice approach, and I flew it in the sim. So
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
have to recreate that again. So there's a direct flight with JetBlue from Fort Lauderdale, Geo. That goes to Providence.
Happy Gio.
And so the area itself, because what is there to do outside of
Yeah.
the flight sim itself, right?
Mhm.
So we went to Newport, which is like a
Oh yeah.
30-minute drive. We did the mansion tour. You can do a tour of all the mansion. Like if you got to see the mansion of Vanderbilt mansion, Rockefeller mansion.
Mm.
Dude, you think rich people live good now? No, those guys.
Oh,
lived it.
they were the OGs.
They were
Wow.
Yeah.
They traveled with their silverware down to New York City for the summer to bring the silverware back up. That's how we
Yes.
do it. Yeah, so
That's
you could
crazy.
do that. The rest, the
Or
food,
Liquordale.
the food. Okay,
Top
trust
notch.
me, this is going to be the best venue for food we have ever had at any flight sim. Not Houston,
Oh
not
yeah,
San
spot
Diego.
on.
Mhm.
I hate clam chowder. And I
Uh-huh.
had
It's
clam
spot on
chowder in
over
New
there.
England.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Big difference.
Oh,
big
man.
difference. Yeah.
The restaurants on the waterfront downtown.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and you're gonna love it. The Northeast has a certain elegant snobbery to it, and once you understand that, you'll enjoy it. You
Mhm.
understand? It's different. You know what I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It is different. They do things differently. Everything is on point, and so I'm looking forward to just that. Plus the expo. You understand?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this expo, we'll see who turns up at the show now. We know what the staple is going to be. Microsoft,
Yep.
Wing, Moses, all those people are going to be there, even bigger now.
Right.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then who is going to come on the scene and blow us away? So
Yep.
I'm definitely looking forward to it, and being on the East Coast again,
Yeah, it's good to
yeah. For people who live in Europe, it's a one leg over,
yeah, it's
One leg
much
over.
or
easier.
1.5
Yeah.
or whatever.
Easier.
Yeah,
Mhm.
much
They're flying
easier.
to Boston and drive up.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
That's
so,
what we're probably gonna end up doing.
you know,
That's cool, man. I'm looking forward to it. I know like initially it was like Providence,
I
and then
know.
you take a step back and you're like, you know what, let me look into Providence, and you really do your research and your homework, and you're like, man, it's cool. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Unless you're Johnny.
Well, let's see, Johnny. I don't know why Johnny's complaining. He lives smack dab in the middle of the country with American Airlines out of DFW that gets
yeah, he's gonna
anywhere in the world at any time of day. He'll be just fine. Don't pay him no mind.
Man,
you're gonna be good. Yeah. You're gonna be
No mind.
no man.
just
No.
driving along the coastline up there, man, and looking
Yeah.
out over at the lighthouse and some other points of interest that we went. I'm trying to remember. We did the tours, we drove around, we went to the restaurants. Food's different. It's rich. It's like nice.
Oh,
It's a
yeah,
great time of
especially
the year to
seafood
be there.
there.
Great
That
That's
part
time
of
of
the
the year.
country.
Exactly.
Man.
Yeah,
It's nice.
exactly. So,
Gee, I was going to drive from
and a
Fort
lot of
Lauderdale.
people who missed out on this one and heard about it is going to show up at that one. It's going to be booked out, I think, too, as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah, man, you guys better get your stuff in early. We'll
Yep.
get some details around that for sure to start sharing amongst the
Yep.
community, and obviously info from the Flight Sim Expo team themselves. But don't sleep on this one, man.
Don't sleep on that.
You guys
Nope.
will end up staying in Boston.
Everything's
gonna be booked
Run out of
out,
room.
man.
You know what I mean?
You know, I'm gonna sleep on your couch in your room, Mike.
That's fine, man. More than merrier, man. You're welcome to it.
Let's go.
Just know that I
man.
snore.
Grab an air mattress, man. That's all I can tell you.
Heck yeah, man. There you go.
True. So,
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Oh,
yeah,
man. XP, man, it has certainly been a blast, man. We appreciate you coming
Absolutely.
on and spending some time with us and with the community. We appreciate you guys as well. And tuning in to the Close Traffic Podcast. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. XP, all of you in here are probably already subscribed to XP, but just in case we have a visitor at XP72 Official on YouTube, check him out amongst many
Check 'em
other
out.
social media content and whatnot as well. And then, if you haven't subscribed yet, Close Traffic Podcast, as you're listening to today, and our website, closetrafficpodcast.com. Johnny, any parting words?
Man, keep the blue side up, spade and neuter your animals, and stay cool out there. Those of you who are dealing with the 100-degree heat. That's all I got.
Charlie?
Man, I'm about right there with Johnny. It's been hot. Come on, fall.
Go
Go dogs.
XP, any parting words, man?
Hey, man, this format right here, I love the open discussion that we're having just with Flight Sim in general. We need this, and thank you guys for keeping it going. And you guys subscribe to the Close Podcast YouTube page. Subscribe to these guys if you're just here watching as a guest, because we need this kind of discussion in the community. I actually enjoy it. Not flying all the time. Let's hear other people's opinions, and I love you guys for doing that. So thanks for bringing us on. Subscribe. These guys, let's go.
Appreciate it. We'll see you guys.